Today we're going to learn about what we call consecutive integers. So this may be new to you guys from last year. So just to start off with what a consecutive integer is, they're numbers that are in order on the number line. So if you give me 3 consecutive numbers, you could have, for example, 4, 5, and 6. You could have it going the opposite direction. You could have 4, 3, 2. You could have negative numbers. You could have -1, 0, 1. So that's an example of what 3 consecutive integers look like. If you want 4, again, you could maybe do like -2, -3 to -5. You could do 1 through 4, excuse me. You could do 0, 1, 2, 3. So those are all consecutives. The other thing that you have to know are what consecutive even or odd integers are. And they're just, for example, consecutive even numbers would be like 2, 4, 6. So they're even numbers that are in order on the number line. Consecutive odd numbers, you could have 3, 1, -1. Just for another example, you could have -8, -10, -12. Okay, so that's what consecutive means. It means in order on the number line. So you will be doing some problems that use the word consecutive, and they'll either be case 1s where they'll say consecutive odd or even, or they'll be case 2 where it just says consecutive. So there's a different setup for each case. I'm going to show you the odd or even case first. So in the problem it says find 3 consecutive odd numbers whose sum is 27. So this is actually very simple. Your smallest integer is, well, you don't know what the first number is, so you have to create a variable. So let's use n. Okay. Anytime you have odd or even, your next integer is going to be 2 more than your first one, because odd and even numbers are 2 spaces apart. So that's going to be your middle number. And since you have to find 3, you have to keep going. So then you would add 2 more to the middle guy, and you're going to get n plus 4. So if your problem says odd or even, you're going to count by 2s. I know that's weird that you might want to write n plus 1, n plus 3, but you actually count by 2s because they're 2 spaces apart. Alright, so then what you're going to do is you're going to draw 3 blanks, blank plus blank plus blank, and we're adding because it says sum, and it's going to equal 27. So n's going in the first space, n plus 2 in the second, and n plus 4 in the third. And then once we do that, we just solve it like normal. So you're going to get 3n plus 6 equals 27. Subtract 6 on both sides. You get 3n equals 21. So n is going to be 7. So your first number is 7. But your task was to find 3 numbers. So your middle number is going to be the next odd number after 7, which is 9. And the next odd number is going to be 2 more than that, which is 11. So those are your 3 integers. So that is the same thing. If it said even, it would be the exact same setup. Okay, so that's it for case 1s. Case 2 will not say even or odd. It will just say consecutive. So this problem actually says find 4 consecutive numbers that add up to 30. So I draw 4 blanks, blank plus blank plus blank plus blank, because I'm adding 4 numbers. As always, your first integer will be your smallest number, and that will be n. Then your third largest integer, or your next integer, will be 1 more than that. And then your next integer will be 1 more than that, so it will become n plus 2. And finally, your last one will be 1 more than that. So if you don't have the word odd or even, you simply count by ones. And if you do have odd or even, you actually count by twos when you're making your list of integers. So all that's left is to fill in the blanks. So n plus 1, n plus 2, and n plus 3. And then you're just going to solve it like we did in the other problem. So there are 4 n's. 3 and 2 and 1 makes 6. Subtract 6 on both sides. So you're going to get, dividing by 4 on both sides, you will get 6 for n. So your first number is 6. One more than that is 7. The next one is 8. The next one is 9. So your 4 numbers are 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so we're going to try some examples. So the first couple are going to be basic. So it says consecutive even. So you're going to need 3 spaces, blank plus blank plus blank, and they're going to add up to 36. So your smallest integer is n. Your next integer is n plus 2, and your next integer is n plus 4. And then we solve. So you're going to get 3n equals 30, so n has to be 10. So your first number is 10. Your next number is going to be the next even number, so that's 12, and then the next one after that is 14. So your 3 numbers are 10, 12, and 14. Number 2 does not say even or odd, it just says find 2 consecutives that make 107. So I'm going to just have 2 blanks that add up to 107. So your first number will be n as always, and this time we count by ones because it does not say even or odd. So we have 2n plus 1 equals 107. Subtract 1 on both sides, and you have 2n equals 106. So your number is going to be 53, and the next number after that will be 54. Okay, number 3, now we have consecutive odd numbers, so this is a case 1. So there are 3 numbers that make 75. The first one is n. We are going to count by 2's this time, using that case 1 setup, and then we solve. Alright, so when we divide by 3 on both sides, we're going to get 23. The next odd number will be 25. And the next odd number will be 27. So those are your 3 consecutive odd numbers. Okay, so number 4 is going to be a little bit trickier. So it says the sum of 3 consecutive numbers is 3 more than twice the largest integer. So what will happen is it's actually going to help us if we record our 3 integers starting out. So there's no even or odd, so we use case 2 setup. Alright, so then your largest of the 3 is going to be the last one. So that's all I need you guys to remember, is the largest is the last option. So you're going to add 3 numbers because it says the sum of 3. So we're going to add 3 numbers together. Is means equals 3 more than is 3 plus. Twice means 2 parentheses. The largest integer. So of the 3, the largest is n plus 2. So that's what we're going to put in the parentheses. So then we can actually take our 3 integers and put them in the blanks like we were doing in the other problems. And now we solve it like a normal problem. Alright, so I choose to subtract 2n on both sides. So I get n plus 3 equals 7, which means n has to equal 4. And then make sure that you get your other numbers. So it says what are all the integers? So 4, 5, and 6 are your 3 numbers. And last but not least, example 5. 3 consecutive integers, so I'll just make my list, n plus 1, n plus 2. So it doesn't say the sum of 3, it just says we're finding 3 numbers so that the sum of twice the smallest and 3 times the largest. So what we want to do is identify that the first option is our smallest number. The second guy is our largest, and we're going to take this one step at a time. So it says the sum, and if you remember, sum means parentheses with a plus. So the sum of twice the smallest, so twice would be 2 times n, and 3 times the largest, which is n plus 2. So when we do that, our answer is equals 126. So you just kind of take it a word at a time and just stick things in parentheses where they belong and use the correct operations. So when you're doing a problem like this, you're going to start by distributing. So you're going to get 2n plus 3n plus 6 equals 126. 2n and 3n will make you 5n. Take off 6 on both sides, and we get 120. So that will actually end up giving you 24. And so your next number will be one more after that, and then one more after that. So those are your 3 magic integers.